This is known as the Concord House. This is where your grandfather was staying with his wife, Kate, and 5 kids. August of 1980, Timothy Hack and Kelly Drew had come here for a wedding reception. They were supposed to meet somebody at 11 o'clock that night, and they supposedly left the Concord House, but were never seen again. It really was the case that broke open who your grandfather was. So we're actually here at the Concord House to meet Dana Bruick and Rick Lewell. Rick was the investigator on your grandfather's case, and Dana was the reporter that broke the story. How you doing? And if it wasn't for them, we probably wouldn't be here today.
Edward Wayne Edwards, at the time, was a handyman. He was living in a campground adjacent to the Concord House, and he was one of hundreds of people who were contacted when this happened, but he didn't raise any red flags.
And that's why the press was so helpful in that, putting in information that generated leads coming in. And a number of those leads pointed to Edward Edwards, so we moved from the middle of the list up to the top of the list, and then we went out to Kentucky.
Did you get to go to Kentucky and interview him?
I was out there in Kentucky and interviewed him with a detective. And he was cooperative in the beginning, but before we leave, we'd like to get a buccal swab, meaning we'd like to get some of your saliva. And at that time, he really bristled up and tightened up, and he said, no, I don't believe in that. So that kind of led us to pursue him. A little red flag popped up and said, okay, fine. And then we went back and actually got a search warrant. It was a match with the DNA on the body.
So when it comes to the tip itself, how did it make you feel with this case after profiling it?
We do these types of stories in the hope that cases like this one, no matter how many years later, may be solved. The fact that our coverage did generate a lead that ultimately led to the arrest, that's really meaningful. That's impactful. And it was one of the biggest, if not the biggest, murder investigation in the state of Wisconsin.
After the reception, the pair was supposed to meet friends at Fort Fest, a carnival at the time here in Fort Atkinson. But by the next day, family members knew something was wrong.
Investigators launched a massive search on foot and by air. More than 2 months after the disappearance, the remains of Hack and Drew were found several miles from the dance hall. Drew was discovered naked in the nearby woods. Hack was found clothed in the cornfield. But today, decades-old evidence is revealing new details about a possible suspect. The crime lab isolated DNA from an unknown donor. It was found on a piece of evidence. Now investigators need to match the DNA.
The tip that led to the arrest and conviction of Ed Edwards came from his own daughter.